Hello everyone, we hope you're doing beautifully well. We are cracking on, as you know by now, with the Mahdi campaign. We're on day 16 already. Wow, geez, that's gone quick, right? Passing it over to Talon, right?
Yes, hello. So today's mission, we have done another rapid redeployment from the island of Tanoa to the Persian Gulf. The Grim Reaper's Naval Division has successfully engaged and damaged an important fleet near the Gulf, including a Kuznetsov-class carrier. However, the fleet has managed to limp away and almost reached a port where it can be repaired. So GR has been redeployed to destroy the escorts and capture the carrier before it can reach the port. It is being escorted by 4 Russian-type Navy vessels, and we believe the weapons of the carrier itself are offline. So once we've sunk the escorts, Grav will be able to move in with their helicopters, land on the deck, and take control of the carrier. The strike aircraft should be able to clear the way. However, we do expect the Gulf to, as well as these 4 larger vessels, be active with a large number of small boats armed with machine guns. So low-flying aircraft and helicopters should be aware of that. We will have a cap flight whose job it will be to clear the skies of Red 4 aerial assets and protect our own fleet, our own air bases, and of course our strike package. The AO is not an active war zone at the moment, and so we should expect civilian traffic both in the air and at sea. Do not destroy any of the civilians. The AWACS from the carrier has also been delayed by maintenance and will not launch until approximately 30 minutes into the mission. So we will have limited radar coverage from our air bases and from 1x Patriot site, which is at Kasab Air Base. So in terms of particular missions, we have Tasking A, which is to sink the escorts, 4 vessels, frigate and destroyer size. Somewhat damaged but still operational. The weapons are of course considerable. We know there are no Moskva class cruisers present, but the other vessels are still a threat. Tasking B, seize the carrier. Once the to take control of the carrier, all we need to do is land helicopters on the deck. The weapons are offline, so we should be safe to do so once the escorts are down. And then clearing the skies, we are expecting Red 4 support in the form of Mirages and potentially other aircraft. Keep an eye on your radars and deal with anything that may appear. There's obviously no ground force mission today, since we're operating at sea. Any questions?
Do we know what exact class type those destroyers are?
That is
classified.
There are, I believe, Grishas and Nutroshimis, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, right. Okay, I know the capabilities. Any
other questions?
Do we drop troops or just need to land helicopters?
Just land the helicopters. I didn't want to take the risk of putting a whole load of complicated triggers in that aren't going to work, because because the carrier is moving, it's a little tricky to get all the triggers to work. In terms of the one thing I forgot to mention is where the carrier is. The carrier is in the northeast of the DQ grid square. Flight leads do have the exact position from radar coverage, so Bloodknock will be able to tell you for the Viggen strike where it is. The Harriers and the C-101s also have a waypoint on top of it, so you should be able to get there fairly easily.
Let's look at the teams today. We have Ford with Cap/Strike with Obi, Frisco, Stoat, Grump. We have Chevrolet in air cover, Whistler, Riddle. How about that? Onslaught, Hammer, empty, no F-16s. Everyone bored of the F-16? What's going on? Cadillac, empty in the Jeffs. Peugeot, empty in the Mirage. Jaguar is Cypher. I wanted to fly Aviate-B today, but they've filled it up with Cypher, Atomic, Muki, and Tanky. Saab, the Wiegans, Blood, Supercap, Kingston, Bean. Dodge, Ghost Fox in his A10C. Tesla, Chopsticks, Kelso, Leighton, Mike in backup green buttons. Saab Plus, how about that? Bull, Mahuja, And Elo is going to be trundling along, if his lag will allow, in the A10A. We've got Pegasus, Gazelle, Unexpected, Dragon is going to be Red O, and Zapancake in Ola Crep. In the KF50. Got there, didn't I, boys? Dragon and Starscream in the Russian Chunker plane. And Mickey Ruby and Blight in Huey's. How interesting, guys. Right. We going off for the Viggen Sub-Brief now, or what's happening next, guys?
Cool. Well, this is our target that we're trying to hit. There are 4 escort ships. There's going to be 1 ship for each of us, and then Bull is also going to be going for 3. So both Kingston and Bull will be going for 3. The reason I've chosen this is because the missiles are coming in from the right of this picture. So if 3 disappears before Bull's missiles arrive, hopefully they won't target the Kuznetsov, and they'll keep going past it. The ships are tracking about 3 degrees, 11 knots, and my little program that's got your cartridges has already calculated where they're going to be at the impact point, so you don't need to worry about that. So in terms of tasking, myself, I'm going to be going for 4, Cap going for 2, Kingston 3, being 1, and as I said before, Bull will be going for 3. The takeoff order will be in the order of our flight to make it nice and easy, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Your loadout is going to be 2 times RB-15s and the external fuel tank, nothing else. We don't need any sidewinders because I run on the rule, certainly against these modern aircraft, if you can see the enemy, you're already dead. So you might as well shift the weight. Everyone's time on target is going to be 0. Apart from Bull, yours is going to be 10 seconds later. So everyone's going to type in 18:45:00, except for Bull, who will do 18:45:10. I'll point that out at the time that we need to do it. Navigation waypoints, we're going to be taking off from Al Ain International down here in the south, going straight north to B2, and then going a little hop over the mountains to B3, which is on the coast, then finally to B4, and then onwards to M5. It's this last little leg where you need to try and get it as precise as possible, because you need to get your TOT down to 0 and be on the right track so that your missiles go to where they're supposed to go. In terms of what the missiles are going to be doing, this is all dealt in the cartridges, so it's just so you know what's going to happen once you pull that trigger. Is they're going to be coming in from about 10 degrees, and then about 10 kilometers from the ships, they're going to take a turn to the right onto a heading of 40 degrees and slot themselves through the fleet. So the ones on the far side will have to go past the ships and then hit their target. And this is in part so the ships that are closest to us will try and track those missiles, but will struggle because they're flying past them rather than going towards them, and therefore the next missiles in, they won't be trained on them and they can sneak in and kill them before their defenses are able to strike back. So, TOT system. Who here has not used the TOT system before?
Wow.
Oh, fuck me, sideways.
5. Okay. So it's not too tricky, as long as you do exactly what the list says in the kneeboards and in the briefing.
It seems fairly straightforward.
It is fairly straightforward, but it's easy to go wrong if you try and be clever and do things that you think are right but aren't. So as long as you follow those steps and do nothing else, it'll work. If you try and fiddle with stuff, it'll break. And so we'll quickly go through this. It's quite easy. Select the TOT mode. That's already explained for you in the big list. If it says, if there's a blank digit on the left and you have, say, 6 seconds, you're 6 seconds at a time, so you've got to slow down. If there's a minus, then you're behind time and you need to speed up. The target speed, so the speed that will mean that your TOT error is not changing at all, will be Mach 0.7, and that's for the entire flight. And you can find that on your speedometer, which will be on the top left-hand side of the front dash. So if you are behind time, you'll need to go above 0.7. If you're ahead of time, you'll need to go below 0.7, and your TOT error will get steadily towards 0. Are there any questions on that?
Okay, let's get this baby set up. Pilot, F off. Next. Lights.
127 contact.
Alf. Roger. Lights, ein. Next.
127 contact, cool. Readability 3, you've got a slight crackle, but we can hear you okay.
Next.
125, this is 5.
Standby.
Sorry, 127,
INS
5.
system. Next.
Yeah, we can hear you. There's a slight crackle, but it'll be fine. You're your voice is clear. Copy. Okay, can I get a check for everyone to make sure everyone's on the radio?
2.
3. 4. 5. Excellent. Can everyone now arm your aircraft with 2 times RB-15s and a fuel tank, and let me know when that rearming process has started.
2, rearming.
3. 5. Okay, next we're going to select the cartridge in the kneeboard, so you need to navigate to the ground crew page, which if you keep going right, you'll find at the top it says ground crew settings, and then lower down it says data cartridge selected. You need to press Control-Alt-C until that has the same name as the cartridge I gave you. If you go too far, you can do Control-Shift-C. And report when that is displayed correctly.
2 has Mahdi Day 16 selected.
Guard, Magic, read you loud and clear on guard. So 4, I have the cart loaded.
Stand by, Blood. I have key binding issues, just catching up.
That's right.
So just to confirm, Blood, I literally just put it highlighted in the kneeboard and then just click the slot for it to go into, correct?
Yes, and then do nothing else. We'll then load it into the thing. Oddly enough, you don't actually have to put it in the slot.
Ha! Go DCS.
Hang on, I'll be back in just 2 seconds. How do I select the data cartridge? Okay, I'm back. Sorry, what was that? How do you select the data cartridge? So, are you in the kneeboard? Yes. Can you navigate to the right until you find a page that says ground crew settings at the top? Check. Okay, now press Control-Alt-C until where it says data cartridge selected is this one of the same name as the one I gave you. Check. Good, that's all we need to do. You can now close the kneeboard and go to your data panel selector, go ref, Lola and in and type 9099 and press LS.
Rough shouldn't get read.
Up and down until you find the data cartridge of the name that I gave you.
2.
And we are going to go and load that in. So ref Lola in 9099 and then press LS.
2.
3.
All carrier unit, magic be advised. Single traffic carrier flight working control. Last sighted at. Then the weapon selector to attack.
2.
Sorry, Blood, can you repeat that? I just had to turn guard off, it was definitely me.
So data selector needs to be to act pulse and out, and then the weapon selector to attack.
3.
4. Do the weapons setting switches. So the left one or the most forward one needs to be down, and the right one or the most rearward one needs to be up.
2.
3. 4. 5. Now we need to go data selector to TID and in, and this is for 2, 3 and 4. You need to type the code 184500.
2.
3. And for 5 you need to do 184510. 5. Now I need to confirm with VX and then 8 on the data panel.
2.
3.
Now TID and out, and my clock is currently, we'll do when mine hits 1440, which will be in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now tell me when yours hits 1440.
4 mark.
2 mark.
3 mark.
01, Alan, flight to the Saab for Eagles. Okay, 4, what does your clock currently say?
1415.
Interesting. What time did you type in for impact?
1845.
And then 00.
No, I left the 00 blank.
How embarrassing for you.
Okay, well firstly just
Mate,
check
how hard
that.
is it?
So we'll go TID and in, and 1845, 00, then VX, 8 on the data panel.
Time is now 1343.
We'll just do another one of those checks to be doubly sure, so it's got a little time. So mine's going to hit 13 minutes in 1. Alan, runway clear.
2 mark.
Picture as follows. 2 firefighter, short, 501, group 1, health and safety, expected control, we've done everything correctly. So now we just need to wait. Currently at Bulls 046 for 74 miles.
Question.
Group 2, go ahead, at Bulls 006 for 50 miles, 2 ship. You need no radar mode bound. I would recommend having the nav and ANF master mode bound to something that you need to press. That's not. In fact, on that note, we'll go through what the final steps are. So you're going to be travelling towards B4. Then when you hit B4, you're going to be turning left onto M5, and it's this 20-kilometre stretch we need to get all your weapons set up, and then you fire the weapons at the end of that leg, i.e. when you hit waypoint M5. So you go past B4, it says M5 on the top right of the dash. You need to set your master mode to ANF. You need to make sure you're at 200 metres above sea level. You want to make sure that key area is 0 as possible. Hopefully you've got it to burn a few seconds before. Get it down to 0 on that stretch. When you hit M5, hold down the trigger for 1 second, so that'll release the first missile. Count to 10. When you hit 10, it will hold to the end for 60 miles. You'll searchlight shine on the top right of the dash. Your missiles are away, and you can turn left onto 190, which will be your egress, a direction, and then we can all go home. Are there any questions on that? Can I get a count through the flight?
2.
Oh, something also to note, and this is particularly Andrew Camp because he publicises his flying, but I'm sure a few people make this mistake as well. Make sure you trim the aircraft whenever possible, because I've seen this on Camp's videos where he's fighting the stick. The aircraft's constantly wanting to go down to the ground, but he's pulling it back. This aircraft is incredibly stable. If you get it trimmed correctly, you should be able to pretty much let go of the controls, and it won't move very much. So make sure you're constantly trimming, and your flight will be much easier.
2.
There is also a slightly cheeky way to trim it, is if you have the autopilot altitude hold button, it will trim the aircraft for you at that speed and altitude. So that can be nice if you're trimmed way out. Just stick the autopilot on for a second, let it settle.
We're waiting for our takeoff clearance. Yeah, because if you
Copy.
have it set to altitude on and you hit the trim button, doesn't it automatically turn for you as well?
It does. So if you are in altitude hold and then you go trim left or right, it'll put you into a very nice radius. This is something like 5-6 kilometre radius turn, which is nice. I wouldn't use that on this. It's only really useful for, say, if you're wanting to just orbit and stay in an area for one place, or if you're using the on-flight magic, I have no curve actually to fly. The radiation could be a single neutral aircraft that I tracked moving east earlier. Cool. storage here, northwest this time. No, I'm very 350. This is a problem we had an anti-ship mission a while ago now. We didn't know where the ships were. We knew they were in an area, so I went on combat flight and I tried to guess where to go for the X points, and it didn't really work because inevitably I got wrong. It was 29 nails unexpected and on the outside of the map, and it was terrible. So what I did is because the cartridge is just a text file, I wrote a little program where you say I want to attack this waypoint here, and I want to attack from, say, 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, whatever. You can have as many aircraft as you want. And then you only have to type in that one set of coordinates to then generate a bunch of cartridges, which is what I've done here. So, and it also does, say the ships are moving, you will plot in, I know where they were at 1800, they were at this place, they were travelling this quickly. It will project those coordinates forward, and say you want to attack at 1845, as is the case here, it will calculate where those ships will be at that time, and plot those in as your coordinates. Pretty quickly, I set over on the screen, change the coordinates, change the speed of the ships, change the time of attack, etc., etc. Then it's go, I get a bunch of cartridges out, and I give them one single ship, and not really 7 miles. If I went down combat flight and spend an hour changing all the individual locations, all the ships, 6.040 down to 3 miles northbound.
Yeah, sounds a major pain in the ass.
Cap report. Yeah, and if my 1 o'clock stuff is much more complicated normally. I speed to the leg, but that's all done in the cartridge. So I just type in I want to be at this speed at this waypoint. It automatically gets uploaded, and all you guys have to do is, in case of the RP-15, type in the input act time, and you're away. If you're just using regular weapons, you don't need us to do that. The cartridge just sorts it out for you.
This jet again, I forgot how nice and easy the interior is to read everything.
nicely, as you say, the cockpit's fairly well laid out, but it has lots of secrets, lots of complicated things it can do that keep you entertained for a long period of time.
Sounds just like getting married, to be honest.
Target on radar, range 17 miles at 20,000 feet going from west to east. On flight magic, I have visual contact at Centura 3.7 or 71 miles to climbing cold. Expect 21013.3, let me know if you don't know where that is. 1013. 3. 4. That's 5 minutes lead taxiing. When your clock says 5 minutes, taxi as well, and that should keep it in order. And also, is anyone on fire? Has anything exploded?
Literally not on fire too. Yet.
3 not on fire.
Forward on fire. 5 minutes on fire. Magic Harrier Flight Airborne out of
Having said that, control's not working.
heading north. Interesting.
Don't test my patience,
Copy.
Kingston.
I know what I've done. I think I know what I've done.
What do you think you've done? We start pressing too many buttons.
Unbound it, because I'm a dick.
Oh yeah, that will cause that to break. Whistler, on flight, your bayonet has fallen off of my
There we go, boys. Kingston's back in action. Taxi now.
4 and 5, make sure you're behind Kingston. Magic on flight, copy. 4 copy.
Blood, do you know what the default nose and steering button is, dude?
None.
1.
It's because I've lost my rudder binding as well. Sorry!
Well, at least you've not done what I've done in the past, where I accelerate and go, ooh, the rudder's not working, and then put the brakes on and go, ooh, the brakes aren't working, and hammer off into the desert.
Okay, Kingston's taxiing out now. Sorry, boys.
That's alright. Hopefully this is the last of the things that aren't bound.
What's our cruising altitude going to be on the long way up?
Doesn't matter.
About 200 meters on flight minimum, I'm checking. Not too high, comfortably above any obstacle. Check on flight on that road between, I think it's V3 and... Are you using your point right now, 3? There's some mountains. I don't want to see any nonsense flying through the bottom of the valleys. Just go over the top of them.
Cap does nonsense.
And take it around.
Captain, not promise.
Just keep your ears right this time, Cap. I don't want to see this pointing into the aircraft nonsense. Okay, you are out of my scope.
Alright, Cap, personal recommendation from watching the video of last week.
Roger.
If you see missile trails, don't scream they're heading for the boys and not for me, and immediately faceplant the missile.
No.
In the case of that mission, if you had flown at below 5 meters, which is perfectly doable, though tricky, they can't target you, which is what me and Seahorse did and how we managed to get so close. Lead is 25 seconds to take off. Everyone, once you are below 2 minutes, go nav. Once you're below 1 minute, taxi onto the runway and get yourself set up and ready.
He's got 22 seconds left. Cap, shift your ass.
Roger. Just looking at that massive flock of green buttons out there. God, that's uninspiring.
1, go.
Sugar.
Lead's taking off.
I wasn't paying attention to anything you were saying.
We are now taking off.
Did you go left or right onto the runway? Chop, chop. Which way?
Right.
Right.
2 taking off now. A little bit behind, but we're all good, boys. Got camera work to do.
Stage 3, once you're for the takeoff, get up to about Mach 0.5 and then ease the power back.
Yes, sir.
About 33 seconds ahead of schedule.
2 airborne, 40 seconds off, but I'm catching up.
3 airborne, 35 seconds over.
airborne, 38 seconds over. 5 airborne, 35 seconds over. Yeah, that's what I expect. Go about Mach 0.6 and then just let it slowly coast back to 0.
Mach 0.6, bullshit. Watch this. What does positive number mean again, Blood?
So if it's a blank digit, that means you're ahead of schedule, you need to go slower. So at the moment, if you're 20, 30 seconds ahead of schedule, you need to be going Mach 0.6. And then as you get down to, say, 5 seconds, go Mach 0.65, then as you get down to 1, go 0.68, etc., etc., because
Got it the wrong way around. Whoops, silly cap.
then you flew at Mach 0.5, then you would suddenly find yourself way behind. We want to avoid that because
Ramming on the brakes.
really quickly and it just, yeah, it's bad. Magic Cypher has overshot me on my nose. Distant.
Yeah, that was Kingston.
No, it's not.
Well, I'm going to stick with the official GR plane magic. Hit me up on 244. Don't do any fancy maneuvers. Zero overshot. Just bring
So
the power
boring.
back. Slowly let it ease back. We've got plenty of time.
I'm gonna shoot
Go ahead,
stuff.
Obi. Okay, just to confirm, we're going to do initial slightly ahead of your time on target strike with harms, just to make it look cool, and then we will orbit and await the results of your strike, and then we will prosecute with slams if needed.
With extreme
Roger,
prejudice.
confirm that the harms won't actually do any damage, they just look cool. Onslaught man. Yeah, confirm, even if they all hit the carrier, it'd do like 0.5% damage on sort of bill. No threat there. Bandit hot on your right. Yeah, well, 350. I think it's 40 miles, will sink 7 nets off, so we need to avoid that at all times. Just stay firm. Yeah, the harms will just distract them. They'll probably impact ships, but won't do any harm. Whistler Magic, same bandit, broad 356, 8 miles, Angels 27, hot. Hey, firm, friendly between me and the bandit. I'll let my wingman take the first
Delta
shot.
0.
Confirm. Very nice. Let's do a quick TOT check. So I'm currently 11 seconds ahead of schedule.
2-0.
See your position, please.
310.
411. 511. And just check those all ahead of time. Yeah, Almanab. Blank digit on the left. Copies is now 10, blank digit.
Kingston 5, blank digit.
4, 5, sorry, 9, blank digit. Cipher Magic. I don't have you on my scope. As long as you'll be below your 0.7, that 130 miles based on. I recommend 0.65 at this point. We've still got plenty of time to let it ease back. Magic Cipher copy. Onslaught Whistler Magic Bandit is now turned cold. Roger. Still tracking.
I've still my autopilot on because I'm lazy.
Yeah, I don't throttle on as well. I have it bound to one of the keys on my throttle, so I'm constantly going in and out of it.
Three is now 0.
Excellent, make sure you get up to 0.7, otherwise you'll find yourself going behind time and we don't want to be at your 1 o'clock. Between 1 and -1, then you're doing well. Contact is at 501538 for hot.
Autopilot fail.
This is when we will catch fire again.
Horrendous block of green buttons. This is the kind of thing Cap wakes up in a night sweat about. A block of green buttons slowly coming towards my bed.
That reminds me as well. Paul, you know when you go in for the attack, I said fire one off, then count to 10, fire the next one off. Yep. I need you to not do that. Hold the trigger, release the first one, count to 1, then release the second. This is again to stop the second contact that you're doing. 005 for 10 miles. Because you're doing this element high later than everyone else, there's a much higher chance that the target will already be destroyed and they'll hunt the carrier down. Because there are some quite cool settings in the RB you can put like you can electronically filter anything with the ledger right up in the left.
Come on, I want some mountains to dodge, god damn it.
Friendly aircraft and any SAMs that are placed around here. We're not going to go anywhere near where the enemy aircraft will be or any enemy SAMs will be, so nothing to worry about.
Whistler, /1. Run 347, 14 miles, Angels 26 hot.
Famous last words.
Look at those.
Well, it's the one problem I have with this program I've written is it can make these missions quite boring in that everything is done, you know, very regimented, and therefore it's not
On the Atlantic second contact, Ross,
really cool.
315 for 33 miles, Angels 32 hot.
Yeah, it looks great on film.
Weil das auch einfach ist.
Three is 2 seconds behind. Whoops a daisy.
That's alright, as long as you correct it quickly. Don't be afraid to put a squeeze of power in when you bring it back.
Immediate area around Kasab is clear for the time
Green
being.
buttons are
Yeah,
split.
back to 0 now.
Copy. Excellent stuff. And yeah, just try and, once you're on 0, keep it at 0.7. Otherwise, yeah, you'll constantly be going up and down, up and down, up and down.
I can't take any more of this autopilot.
So this is the thing that proper pilots do, is you have little routines, little circles around the cockpit that you go. So say you might look forward, yep, I'm heading towards the waypoint, then you look at your speed, oh, I'm slightly slow there, but oh, I am also ahead of schedule, so that's okay. And you keep going round the loop constantly.
Go Magic, I think I have abandoned
any errors that you creep in, you can correct them before they get too severe.
Confirmed, that one's hostile. I also have another one at your right, Bra 006 for 26 miles, Angels 20. Channel's friendly.
Oops, we're falling behind, boys.
Let's
get back on.
Vertical and then come straight back down. Not one of us, is it? That's what I can see.
Do you bother to jettison your tank?
What's the fast
You can do, but if you don't have it bound, I just wouldn't bother. We've got plenty of fuel, the extra drag's not going to really hurt you. The thing I'm worried about is that the jettison fuel tank and the jettison all the weapons buttons are right next to each other.
He's turned cold and running.
What I've done is I've bound them to my throttle, so I've got a 3-position switch. You switch it down, will open the flap, and then you push it all the way up, will actually jettison it. So it's much harder to accidentally drop the weapons. Okay, we're coming up to waypoint B2, so what we need need to do is when you hit the waypoint, turn, and then afterwards tell me you've turned and tell me what your TOT error is.
You know mine's going to be 0. Oh my god. Whoa.
So lead is at the waypoint now, doing the turn. Lead is heading towards waypoint B3 and TOT is on Flight Magic, you're at turning call. You may find in the turn you lose a bit of speed, so don't be afraid to put a bit of burner on.
2, turning TOT 0, of course.
So you're turning onto target.
Not target. Whistler being pursued. Good, TCR is looking pretty good. Just try and get them as close to 0 as you can. The harder you work now, the easier the final stretch is going.
29.
Boom.
Kingston on heading, B3,
But your target is cold, about 10 miles in front of you.
Yeah, just put a bit of burner in there to get up to say 0.72, 73, that's all you're going to need.
5G, 73, -8.
Fly like Viggens, boys.
Yeah, if your mine is 8, put a bit more welly in, go stage 3 and get right up to 0.78 and that'll correct you pretty quickly. And then when you're about -2, say, then bring the power back quite a bit and let it drop, because what you don't want to do is hit exactly 0, find you're still up at a high speed, and then you end up being ahead of schedule, and then you slow down, you behind schedule, and go back and forth.
5. Magic on top, /1, you're
Kingston back at 0.
Good stuff.
Copy, onslaught, you have another contact coming at you from the northeast, stand by.
Magic has waypoint and now going up short. This is where we split off into our respective routes and get on towards our ingress waypoints.
Here, Flight Magic, yeah, we got him on scope.
Good.
Magic, Whistler, I see a few contacts out there, 40,000.
Blood, when I get to where I need to be, I switch to ANS.
Whistler Magic, I only have a single contact on my scope at Bra 024 for 40 miles, Angels 39 hot.
Yep, I'll remind you when we get to the appropriate point. It's crucial not to go in too early, otherwise it will stop your waypoints from changing over, and that's bad. Okay, lead is at waypoint B3, currently +1.
Here, your Flight Magic, you have enough friendlies in the area now, I think you have enough support to proceed.
Like waypoint is also a good opportunity to get to 200 meters, so you don't have to worry about the final leg.
Unless you're waiting for
2
clearance.
turning. Delta 0.
3.
Or near enough. Near enough, boys. Near enough.
Kingston's turning.
4 timing. 5 turning.
Magic, Cypher, Spike 29 on our nose. So, Bull, when we hit the next waypoint, I'm going to pull out a bunch of stuff. Magic, just so you know, get the lock 10 seconds behind the rest of us. So if you can remember it and then do it 10 seconds later, that would be marvellous.
All stations, magic single contact, horizon 030 to 48 miles, Angels. Yes, so that's your radar altimeter, assuming you've got it set, which it is by default, and then your big altimeter will be pressure. Which at this, because you set it to 1013, this should be the same. Go set it final one, like us up.
Little boat there. Hello, boaty boat face. I'll try not to shoot you. Oh, boys, we've got ahead of time.
Gravity rolling, 01 cuss up.
Master Blood will find out.
Magic, Cypher, comms high, 11 o'clock high. Please stay back. I'm getting over splash from a Patriot, so can't be hostile. About somewhere.
Hey, Patriot's going hot. Sweet, we're gonna have air cover now.
Go for it. Right turn, tally, right heading out 5, immediate contact, 025 for 21 miles, Angels 3-4, hot.
Trump scene.
Nothing on that side. I've got a feeling that's a baddie.
There's a missile out on somebody, it's not us.
I'm going to defend the house. Fox 3. Harry's got missile out on you. Tomcats, we've got missiles out 1 o'clock from us. No one of them. I think full teams is fired on it, but someone cover. I've lost my rejoin over magic contact inside of 4 miles. He's about 12,000 feet above you. Missile out again.
Missile out, missile out.
Guys out here, I think, as well, so everybody else proceed on target. Okay, whoever's got it, splash. Could you pull forward? Good splash, good splash. Splash 1. That's alright, just bring it back to 0.65 and let it go back to 0. Go for it. Try and get this as close to as possible because it's going to make your life on the last 025 immediate contact. Broad 025 for 21 miles, Angels 3-4 hot. And also on the last leg, we don't want just the TOT errors to be 0, but also our speed to be 0.7, because you know that counting to 10, if you're too fast, then the missiles will be closer together. If you're too slow, they'll be further apart. So we want them to be nice and even spaced. But if you do happen to be too quick or too slow, don't stress about it too much.
I find balancing the speed
rejoin over magic contact inside of 4 miles is about... Yeah, I find So I always imagine it as your flying formation with an invisible version of you. So it's a bit like the video games, particularly driving simulators. There is a ghost. So if you do one lap, there'll be a ghost of you, and that'll be the same as you did that previous lap. It's like flying with that ghost, except you can't see it.
Oh, Supercap sees everything.
There is a perfect Viggen that's flown your route at exactly the right speed at exactly the right time.
Nails are starting up.
Yeah, don't worry about it, they're way off. Sub 19, runway clear. Okay, can everybody give me their TOT error? Also 024 miles, westbound, Angels 20.
3, 1 ahead.
2, single ship, neutral. 1 ahead, 020 for 81 miles, southbound, down for Angels 25. 3 ahead. It's looking pretty good. 5, you get that down to 0, that'd be lovely, but even so, 3 seconds is not too shabby.
Mario!
We should all be turning onto our waypoints pretty much simultaneously. We should be about 3 kilometers away now. On the U-boat. So lead is turning onto M5 now.
2 turning now.
3 turning now.
Cypher Magic Immediate pop-up group at Bulls.
Okay,
Direction
your display
25 miles to ANF. Hot. Cypher ejecting, engine failure.
Oops, someone's down. Embarrassing for them.
3.
Mario got shot down, surprise, surprise.
Cap, are you on ANF?
Hey, Roger, yeah, set up ready to fire.
4.
Negative, I'm just changing now.
Magic, do we have
Come on,
any
B.
merged with friendlies? Or
Single con 5, go to ANF.
North of the friendly mob is Bull 019 for 45 miles, Angels 14 southbound.
Then wait for the F8 punch. Okay, what you want to do is go to act, pause, and out, press
target
B5, and then go out to Eddie and out.
22 miles, Angels 16 hot.
Yeah, copy, that's cleared it. Coast cross line, use whatever you need to get that TOT error fixed.
Not us, boy, not us!
5 switch to ANF, TOT is +1.
Be firing in a minute, blood.
You should all be at 200 meters. We're going to be about 5 times from the drop point now, and I'll count you in. If you're slightly behind, then drop at the same time, not you Bull. From Whistler. 5.
Bull, what's the minimum launch altitude?
So go 200 meters. Release 1.
So you fall off my scope. Of the 2 contacts, you had 1 is hostile, the other is neutral.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release.
Foxing will appear at hostile.
Once you've got a red light, turn left onto bearing 190.
2, complete.
Bull, tell me when both your missiles away. Don't count for 10 seconds. Just fire them both at the same time.
3.
Whoa, someone just died. Someone just died right in front of us. I don't know who that was, boys.
Bull.
Spike. Time for the cap line to get the hell out of here.
Can I check everybody's got their missiles away?
2, watch this.
3.
Alpha call.
Fastest thing in the sky, boys.
5, radio check.
Picture is clear.
5 is down.
That's not too disastrous because his were spare missiles anyway, so.
Someone crashed into the sea, I noticed.
Right, everyone go 190, go full power and descend down to 100 meters.
100?
Like something angry out there.
We're going lower than that, blood.
Quality flights Magnum times 16.
That's not enough.
To the Viggen flight, we have all our missiles away, barring the last one, but those are spares. I launched it and then I walked right into it. Did you descend while doing it? No, I was on level flight. I had my altitude hold on. Interesting, I've not seen that before.
Embarrassing.
I just said go 1, not that many times right and then coming from the ships. Okay, now that we're all heading south, I want you to go to act, pause and out, and then press L MAL. That's going to select the landing waypoint.
2.
3.
So waypoint 4 is off to our west. target now.
Reports 2 times bandits. 350.
049.
From who?
Scrum copies.
From Whistler.
And the targets we're looking for will be Tango Papa GP.
Go on, what?
Hold fire.
So you've fallen off my scope. Of the 2 contacts you had, 1 is hostile, the other is neutral.
Stoats on target.
Foxing, they appeared hostile.
So I'll check in when we have a target.
Drop past target.
Okay, we're 20 miles from targets. I think we should start firing. So countdown. 3, 2, 1, and Magnum.
Grunt Magnum.
And 3, 2, 1. Second Magnum.
Magnum.
Grunt Magnum.
Turn 180 when you've fired your magnums, and we'll head back towards waypoint 2.
Picture is clear.
And hold.
Grump 100, copy.
Spike 6.
Mud 6.
Magnum vectoring towards that 6.
This is out from the carrier.
That's on it off!
So the Viggen flight, we have all our missiles away barring the last one, but there's a spares.
They've got the half of the ships to clear the rest. We'll do that job then. That'll get the Viggens in.
And once you have that selected, fly towards it. I'll probably go stage 1 of
Stage 1?
We don't want.
Who do you think I am, Blur?
I'm guessing we go back to nav.
I don't have that status.
Watch this!
A-firm, yeah, go back to nav if you haven't done so already. So it's critical that we don't die because our missiles will actually get killed.
Cap doesn't die.
Cap, I recommend you stick the autopilot over the mountains or something, and then you can go off and film the missiles.
Yes, sir. No, I'm gonna fly like a dick. The new flight engine for this is bugged. I'm going to show you what a bugged Viggen can do.
Somebody didn't put their switch in the down position. Magic's only picking up ground returns at this time. Two of the missiles are right next to the only other air contact I have is a neutral aircraft. At Bolt 010 for 58 miles to the southwestbound.
Bean!
Taking up 01, Kassab, I'm eagled up.
Mach 1.7. Ooh, baby! Ooh, baby! I'm gonna hammer some fun. I'm gonna hammer some fun. I'm gonna hammer some fun.
Is on approach to...
I'm gonna hammer some fun.
Go on.
Well done, boys.
Nicely done, and they were within about a couple of seconds of each other. Really well done, guys. Now, to make sure we all land safely, we're having no casualties, not from all, of course.
I'll take the credit for that.
What happened to you, Paul?
Map 1.83, boys. Woo!
No, I was at 20.
Push it higher. Push it faster.
And then I crashed into it.
Push it higher.
What altitude were you at?
You were about 30.
30 meters.
Popcorns.
Yeah. That'll be why. You got 200.
Why don't people listen?
I say these things for a reason, you know?
Blood, you've got the patience of a saint, I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, what happens is the missiles will pull up to a sensible altitude, which is, yeah, it's about 30 odd meters. And of course, if you're at 30 meters, they'll go straight into you. Yeah. Did not know this, but
Welcome
good to know now.
106.
Yeah,
We're tearing ourselves apart. Ah! Must go
so,
faster.
Beautiful on the tank view, though.
Going through time.
We're just too good.
Check out my map, boys.
Yep, we have one ship kill for Kingston, we have one ship kill for Cap, we have one ship kill for Bean, and apparently one for Atomic as well. Maybe he got some. And one for me. Oh right, he probably killed one of the speedboats.
Check out the message, boys. We did our jobs.
Mach 1.91. Push! Push!
Anyone ever go to formation
Faster.
landing?
Roger, I'll wait for you there. I'm going to be there miles before anyone.
Up group 0, my 502 mission is 6 miles, Angels 15 southeastbound. Yeah, I've got lots of exciting things I want to do, but unfortunately I've not had the numbers to do them. So one thing I really want to do is, you know the rocket strike I did with the last mission? The ships. I want to do that, but TOT. So have, say, a supply dump, command post, whatever it is, get 3 or 4 people to attack from different directions, pop up, fire for 7 kilometers away, and just annihilate the target rocket all at the same time.
Mach 1.94. Come on, let's get Mach 2 in a Viggen.
Good, and then you get back to carbon popping across the sun.
Let's push a little harder, a little harder.
Yeah, because the Viggen is quite a good long-range rocket mode, so in the area you have like a big 0.40 accurate, but you are pretty much in long range to get past by whatever happens to be in the area. But with the long-range mode, a little bit less accurate, but for a supply depot, you can fly from 7 or 8 kilometers away and dive down to the ground, or even SA-15s can touch you.
Idle power, supersonic.
Is that Whistler? That's Atomic. Copy. I think I have something near the fleet, 28 miles off my nose. Try and hold back. Stay left. Is that Whistler? Affirm.
Yeah, put them on your left, mate.
Yeah, no, I can see.
Buddy Spike F-14.
And a silent glide.
So we're going to come in to land on the same run we took off from. So I'm going to turn left in a moment. We go all the way around, so we're coming in from the meters there. Ghost magic. Left 0.
Just gonna get some fuel and I'll come back up and meet you guys. Roger. Okay, guys, I'm going to come up and meet you. I'll expect you to be in a perfect finger 4. Don't fuck up.
Well, Bean unfortunately has lag issues, so it's only going to be 2. So it's 2 finger right at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to... There's just one time the Mirage out there, feet dry. I recommend, yeah, you head down there, and when we make our turn, you can probably join up.
Oh, I'll join up. Join up. Forever.
Flight magic. Hit the field, joining pattern. you want to focus on putting the circle on the horizontal line. I don't want the, going crazily high or crazily low. If you can keep it on the horizon, then you'll do a perfect horizontal turn. And you want to keep turning until you get onto a bearing of 190. That must be cap.
It can only be cap.
Indeed. Yeah, 190 will be the bearing for the downwind leg. If you can do that, hopefully we'll have a nice clean break and a beautiful landing.
Anyone getting really bad FPS all of a sudden?
No, Magic, go ahead. Mine's okay. Bogey dope. Picture clear. Copy that. Get easy out any choppers in that lane, second.
When you land, just remember I'm full of gas, so I'm heavier, I need to go faster than you guys.
Yeah, that's right. We do no crazy short landings, as much as I do enjoy them. I'd recommend just put the reverser on and don't use any brakes. Okay, the cap, are you in formation with us?
Near enough, yeah.
Right, roll now. And we'll put a slight descent in, so it should come around nicely onto you. Mahuja, Magic.
Copy, over.
Right, yes, contact on your nose is neutral, do not engage.
Eagles in my position.
You got stepped on second. There's contact passing in front of you, Angels 2-5, it's neutral. Copy. Just going to ease up the turn slightly, so coming slightly left.
Got a helo on my nose. Enemy.
Hello, Magic, come up on 244. And increase your turn
right now.
Hello, Magic, I have no hostile helos on my scope. Magic, switching off for ATC. Copy. Well, that's after the brake stop. Just a little bit more turn. Just stop me. And we're going to go wing, level, now. Levels now.
So you can fly with a good lead.
So when I say brake, I want to brake off to the left, and then every time I say brake, the next one goes. Magic Grump relay from LO, just so you have a heads up, there is a hostile helo in the area. Is this in the AO? Okay, so right?
That break?
Brake. Yes, it is in the AO. Need a little bit more turn back. Is it over the docks, the target area? Not sure. Where was Elo's last position?
Elo was about where I am, which is close to the carrier.
Roger, that means the engine for Sub carrier. Finals. You're looking for about 550, 600 for the downwind? And then don't stretch out your finals too far, this thing can turn quite tightly at these speeds.
Oh, the balls.
Kingston to the base.
And when you're doing the turn, put your gear down, put the reverser on.
How did you get in front, Kingston? Kingston, how did you get in front?
This thing is you want to just fly it down with about 5 degrees descent. Once your back wheels hit the ground, just tap the brakes on, that'll force the front wheel down, bring the brakes off, and just let the thrust reverser do its thing, keep about 50%, and you should slow down quite nicely. For finals, you're looking for a speed of about just under 300, probably about 280, just for Cap's benefit. Also note it's the left-hand bit of tarmac, the right one is a taxiway.
You're a taxi.
Kingston down.
Nicely done.
Mike, man, magic.
There you go for Mike.
Caution at Bra 043 for 16 miles. There's a neutral aircraft at Angels 2-5 moving eastbound.
Yeah, Mike, make copies.
But then skills.
On Mike, yes.
Blood.
Copy. Yeah, run along, just use the thrust reverser to slow yourself down a little bit. Try and aim for where we, the taxi, the apron that we took off from.
Yeah, visual on turn here.
Never happened. Never happened.
Charlie, was it that we,
As long as Brad never watches the video, we'll be absolutely fine. We'll just cut that right out.
There's no taxi and clear of active.
Oh no, we passed it, but it was a dodgy angle anyway, so we're just gonna...
Alright, we'll pick the one that you're on. I want to know the difference.
Only taxi
Oh, you're
was
right,
stage
Charlie,
3.
the one that we did use. Yeah, I swear it was Charlie that we came in on. Hello, Kelso.
I was too busy swearing at Cap to get out of the way.
Enemy helicopter with the choppers.
Viggen was designed to go on stage 3. Anything else?
Kelso, there's at least one time enemy somewhere in the AO.
What happens if I put stage 3 around the corner?
There he goes again.
Super Cup, it's Super Cup, always here to love the crowd. Ooh.
Anybody have a last known location on Mahuja?
I used stage 3 in a corner and I've discovered a highway through time, look. How did that happen? Wagner. That's how you break the universe.
If you slot between Boulder and Kingston, I'll leave a slot between Kingston and
Magic, it's huge light.
Yeah, full copy.
What does Magic say again?
Magic Fury, do we have enemy aircraft in the area?
Parked.
I received a report there was an enemy helo in the vicinity of the carrier, but I have no radar return on it.
And got one on my position, reference mine. Helo is on the deck.
Okay, we're done, boys. I'm out of time anyway, so I've got to go.
I have your position. Alright. Moving on. Take any pictures if anyone wants, and then we'll, do that.
Right, valued viewers, welcome back. We'll debrief whoever is here. Let me check the recorder's actually on, and it is. Do you want to go the usual process, guys? Group or Game Master? What did we actually achieve? Group by group, or who you are, what you fly, what you should have done, what you actually did. Send.
Anyone from Fort?
I'm here, but I thought Talon was going first, but I can do the Hornets.
Right, we'll take it. We don't have a Game Master, so first group then.
So it is forward flight Hornets, which also included the flight four Hornets. Started at the carrier. We took off, followed our waypoints as planned.
Like your formation.
Yeah, it looked pretty snazzy, that, didn't it? So we used the time between the carrier and waypoint 1 for GR style formating, which was excellent and looked awesome. And then as we got to waypoint 1 and turn to 2, we all dropped into trail formation, which also looked pretty awesome, with about a 1 or 2 mile space in between each of us, and we stuck in that formation, heading up towards our time on target point for releasing the harms, which we did. I broke off earlier to engage a MiG-29, or we got a Spike 29, and we could see it engaging some Harriers. So broke off and got a Fox out on him. He went down, but I don't know if I killed him or one of the Tomcats did. But anyway, he was splashed. So then I rejoined formation. We pushed up to our time on target point, which we arrived at spot on 41 minutes past the hour, which was exactly when we wanted to be there, which was awesome. And we were all together and all in a pretty line. We turned in on the ships and then fired off 16 harms in unison. And then we went and orbited at waypoint 2 to wait for the result of the Viggen strike, which came in, and I think you boys got everything that we needed.
Damn right we did.
So our slams were unneeded. So some of us went and rearmed with T-pods, and we then proceeded, and we still are engaging and clearing up all the SAMs on Keshem and the southern Iranian coast because we had nothing better to do.
No, very good.
Didn't lose anyone, and
wow,
everyone flew awesomely. It was brilliant.
Well done, everyone. Good disappoint. Next group.
That'd be the Tomcats of Chevy Flight. Riddle unfortunately didn't show, but me and Onslaught did our best. We got up from the carrier, did some individual actions since there were just the two of us. One high, one low. Had a couple of MiG-29s also filter in along with a couple of Mirages. I splashed 2 fighters, and Onslaught, how'd you do?
I managed to get a kill on Graham. I think, I'm not sure if I managed to shoot down a second plane. Probably is a MiG. Probably is a 29. But yeah, it was going cold. But at that point in time, I was low on fuel, so went back to rearm. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a problem with the landing gear. I must have accidentally pressed on the emergency extend. So I didn't have nose wheel and just went off the runway. So that's that's about it for me. But I got a kill on Graham at least.
At the last ditch, I was pursuing Mirage feet dry towards Bandar, but he got back in SAM coverage before I could catch him.
The guys left the door open for MiG-29 to come in. I noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were a couple filtering in one at a time, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, strangely, the fleet was attacked. I don't know what that was about, but
the fleet was
no briefing about that.
If you noticed in the briefing, I did say to keep an eye out for other Red 4 assets operating in the area. And so for the whole duration of the mission, there were 8 Tu-142s heading towards the fleet, which then released kayak missiles, sank one of the escorts, heavily damaged 2 of the others, and took a third of the health off the carrier. I was thinking that you probably noticed them, but apparently not.
We were more concerned with the primary mission objective.
Yeah, we didn't really have that much in the way of manpower with the cap. So
yeah, if we had
divvied
to go after the fleet defense, it would have left the ground attackers completely unchecked. And I saw Atomic actually got hit by one of those Mirages who got in close. Didn't hear him on the comms, so couldn't support. So I just did as best I could after seeing some flares pop.
Yeah, I think Atomic and Cypher was jumped by a couple of MiG-29s.
Yeah, I think he was. I watched that engagement. That's the one that I broke off our trail to go and engage the 29 because I could see him diving in, firing on the Harriers.
All right, that's it for the camp report.
Boom, 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 boom. Next. Chop, chop.
Yeah, I guess that would be me. I flew in the GF-17. Basically, I was equipping with a couple of anti-ship missiles. I would not be coordinated with the others, so I was intending to use it against anything that would be left to mop up. There was nothing, so I was mostly flying around locking up what may have been enemy fighters. I know I tracked one of the Mirages for quite a bit, I'm fairly certain.
Watch out.
In the end, tried to help deal with the helicopter around the carrier, but because I was not certain about IFF, then yeah, I got shot down instead.
Roger, next group.
Guys. Subs.
Cyphers lot.
Harriers.
Skip
They're
it.
all gone.
Next.
That's you guys.
There's always a problem with the Harrier group, isn't there? I've noticed that every time. They need to get their act together. Next group.
We can fight our job to sink the 4 escorts and try and not sink the carrier. Everyone did very well in the setup, as I'm sure the viewers already seen. And we flew pretty much perfectly time on target to our release points. Unfortunately, Bull had a small issue where he flew a little bit low when dropping the missiles, so the missiles came back a bit up and killed him. However, luckily, we still had enough to hit all the ships, and the result was we hit 3 of the 4 ships within 3 seconds of each other, and the 4th within 8 seconds. So yeah, it was pretty impressive.
That's how the Viggen flights do it, boys, and that's how we debrief. Quick, fast, in, out, lay our seed, and we're gone. Next, go.
Hello. Me and Ghost Fox ferried up to Kasab. He rearmed. I went and scouted ahead, got shot in the face by a gazelle, and end of story.
Wow, how embarrassing for you. Next.
I got some in the C-101, helped the heli, shot down. Well, I launched my 2 Sea Eagles. I don't know if they hit or not. I'll have to see the attack view for that. Shot down a few speedboats, fired a heat seeker into the side of the carrier, then tried to land in it.
Nice. Next. Anyone else?
I ferried on up to Kasab, armed with the Seagulls, flew back out to target, released those, don't know if they hit anything, and then by the time that was done, it was all over.
Roger. Right. Is there anyone else?
Yeah, helicopters and then Talon to work out if we actually did the job or not.
Helicopters send quickly, not gabble, 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 quickly.
I think they're still probably flying.
Roger. They're still going. I imagine they would have probably got the mission complete. They've got no funding to fight against something.
I can see them. They're about 500 meters from the carrier right now.
Yeah, they've got
they're currently still in the process of capturing the carrier.
All right, I've got it. It's just taking too long, so I can't capture them. So the valuable viewers assume they're going to capture the carrier. Talon, Game Master,
Yes.
win or loss?
So the escorts were all successfully sunk, and Grav are currently capturing the carrier. So primary objective was complete. However, the secondary secret objective, which I purposely didn't tell you about, was a little bit of an experiment in hidden objectives to protect the fleet, was a failure because the bombers got in completely unharassed, dropped the missiles, did a hell of a lot of damage, and got out.
Roger.
So primary objective complete, secondary objective failure.
Which I think it's because it's this type of campaign. I think we're all very kind of narrow-minded, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, there was only 2 cap fighters, and our primary objective was supporting the attack of the carrier fleet.
Yeah,
so the cap cover. I mean, the carrier itself would have its own cap 24/7 running around the ship. So I mean, they should have been protected either way.
I was expecting when I made this mission that we would have more cap than we did.
Well,
if you look at how many people were in the red 4 aircraft, though, that's kind of what we were basing that on.
I mean, I think honestly, this is still our own fault since we didn't have we didn't predict this kind of things to happen, even though it was kind of like somewhat mentioned in the sheet that there would be some kind of additional stuff, but yeah, I guess it's I would say that it's still somewhat our own fault that we didn't account for it.
Completely.
As I say, it was very much a little experiment on my part in mission design to see how it would go. I dropped a few hints to a couple of people that there was a secret objective. To see how it would be handled.
Yep, I think it was a good idea.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea. Yeah,
unexpected, but not saying what it is.
Yeah,
so that people at least know to look out for these things.
Yeah.
For instance, if I read the sheet properly and actually realised what you were on about, the Hornets could probably have done their initial strike, not messed about like we were engaging SAMs because we didn't think we had anything else to do, and that's purely down to me because I didn't read the sheet. we would have been able to do some cover work probably with a thought on.
That's exactly what I was hoping you would do.
I think I probably saw the bombers on the SA, but because I hadn't read the sheet, I assumed they were some of those friendly targets you were on about, because obviously they're all, with no AWACS, they were all unknowns. So with hindsight, it's a good lesson, and I'm glad you did it, to read the sheet correctly, because I was completely focused on doing our single mission of getting time on target to the ships.
So
when I should have been
guild kick Obi, that's what I'm hearing?
No. Choppers did successfully make it to the helicopter, to the carrier.
Moral of the story: we should read the sheet.
Roger.
These hints were they like girlfriend hints?
Just ignore them.
I mean, I can read you tasking C. It says we expect Red Air to consist of high-performance jet fighters and potentially other forces, both defensive and offensive. Remain vigilant at all times. That was my hint in tasking C, and
we didn't even have an E2 out there. I mean, come on.
The E2, I don't know what happened to the E2. It should have taken off partway through the mission.
I don't know why it didn't. Minutes.
Still, nothing out there.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, it wasn't anything.
I'm going to go because I have to go to work now.
That is very odd.
Very enjoyable, and I'll see you guys Wednesday. Don't think we've got a battle. We'll be doing judging, and you absolutely don't have to turn up if you don't want to. So, in fact, we don't want too many people turning up, but just a few regulars would be nice. Don't need to bring anything. I'll see you guys later.
See you.
See you.